All right, guys. So today we're going to check out a very interesting speaker. The speaker I'm talking about is the Gravastar Supernova. Now, Gravastar, we have checked out some speakers and some true wireless earbuds from them in the past, and they pretty much always have a unique design that kind of helps make them stand out amongst all of the other products that we test out on the channel. And the Supernova is their new speaker. It does come in at $179, so it is not cheap, but they definitely spend a lot of time on the design stand front. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the sound. The Supernova is actually on a pre-order. It comes out like May 15th, so it's just a little over a week from now. It's, again, something that's very unique. It's something that's going to stand out if it's in your office or on your desk or something like that. But as far as what all they've included in the box, it actually comes with a little handle that you can actually screw onto the top. So if you're going to use it outdoors, it's easy to kind of just carry it around this way, because otherwise you really don't know where to handle this thing, mainly because that glass or plastic tube that's around it, it's going to pick up fingerprints if you just grab it all over that. Now, as far as anything else, it does come with a 3.5mm cable. It does have an aux input in the back, along with a USB-C cable, because this is how you charge the speaker, which that is also located in the back. And speaking of the charging, battery life is not very impressive on this speaker. It's only 9 hours if you're listening at about 60% volume. And I've seen speakers, have 20 plus hours even in this size. So don't expect long battery life, but I mean 9 hours is pretty much going to get anybody through a full work day. But do keep this in mind as well. If the speaker is dead and you go to charge it, it takes 3 hours to fully charge the speaker. So it definitely takes a long time to get this back to a full charge. Now, as far as some of the technology the speaker has, it does have Bluetooth 5.3, which means it's really good if you're going to use it, if you're going to watch movies or game or whatever that this speaker is connected to. You don't really have to worry about lag. Now, it is only a 25 watt speaker, which in this price range, we've seen around 50 watts plus. So coming in at about half, that's already a little bit of a concern. But I'm going to tell you, with a product like this and with a company like this, they're not like Sony or JBL or anybody that just mass produces things. And they really do spend a lot of time in the design process. So you are really paying a little bit more for having that unique type of device and the construction and everything that goes into something like this. Now, the materials of the speaker itself, it's made from a zinc alloy. It does have some really decent weight to it. It does not feel like a cheap plastic speaker. It does have 3 different light modes. This is what they really kind of call like a lantern. It does have foldable legs on the bottom. You can fold them in and save a little bit of height if you're going to put it, maybe at your desktop and it's sitting pretty close to where the monitor is and you need to drop it a little bit. But I do like the way that it extends out. And as far as the actual speakers that they're using, they are using a 3-inch full range speaker that's actually on the bottom. It is a down-firing speaker, but it also has a 1/2-inch tweeter that's built into the design. So it is very important how you position the speaker. You want to make sure that the tweeter is aimed more or less where you're going to be, because if it's aiming in the other direction, you're going to miss out on a lot of the details of the music. You're just going to hear what's down firing from the bottom. To me, that's kind of interesting that they went this route to have a down firing speaker. With a design like this, they could have had something 360, which is kind of what I thought this speaker was going to be when I took it out of the box. But no, it is a down firing speaker, but that also does add to the low end. If you're going to have this on a desk where the speaker's down firing on it, it's going to add to the low end that you're getting. But we'll talk about that a little bit more once we get to the sound. Now, if you do have 2 of these, they can be paired together, so you can have that stereo sound. And I can tell you this, from the look of this speaker, having 2 of these on a desktop, especially like a gamer's desktop, really will add to the appeal or the aesthetic that you're trying to have at your desk. And as far as the buttons and the controls, everything is located right up top. It basically has your main power button in the center, and then 3 buttons around it, which is your volume up and down, and also the lighting control. So there's no track controls on this speaker, which I also am not a huge fan of. I like to have all of my controls located on a device so that I don't actually have to pull out my phone to switch it to the next song. It makes you where you have to have your phone on you to be able to do that. But let's go ahead and jump right into talking about the sound. Now, the 25 watt output, I was a little concerned that it wasn't going to be a very loud speaker. That is definitely not the case here. The speaker can get plenty loud, although I'm going to say this. I don't see this as being an outdoor type speaker, and even if you're in a very, very large room, I wouldn't consider this to be one of those speakers that can fill that type of space. Now, I have seen speakers that are kind of close to the size of this speaker that can fill a large room. So the 25 watts is holding it back a little bit, but it can get plenty loud if you're using it in a normal bedroom or office size room. Now, as far as the sound itself, it is a boomy speaker. It is a little bit on the warm end. You can tell that they're focusing on the low end, but I am going to say this. Compared to their Mars Pro speakers, I definitely like the sound of the Supernova better. I do feel like there's more details coming out of it. You can tell they kind of tried to pull back the bass a little bit compared to the Mars Pro, but because that tweeter, especially if you have it faced in your direction, clarity comes out a lot better. Dialogue and vocals, I felt like had a really nice presence, but do keep in mind it does have a warm feel to it. Now overall it makes it feel a little bit more natural because it doesn't have that overly bright treble. But if you are a bass head or you just like that boomier type of bass, this speaker can actually deliver that. Just if you're somebody that likes to have it balanced out a little bit better, having a brighter treble or maybe even some pushed up mids, this is where this speaker just doesn't really hit that. And there's no app to be able to EQ or control this. I mean, you can go in and mess around with some third-party apps, but really this one doesn't respond to EQing very well. So really just expect the sound that you're getting out of the box to be the sound that you're gonna get. You really can't tweak it too much. And again, I think that's gonna be fine for most people. It does hit that consumer-friendly, like bass-heavy sound, but it just doesn't have that brightness of the treble, in my opinion, at least for me, to make it stand out. And again, because of the design, I really wish they would have focused maybe on trying to make this a 360-degree sounding speaker instead of more or less like a directional speaker by only having the tweeter located on one side. So my overall opinion is, yeah, it is pricey. You are paying for something unique. You're paying for something that is definitely going to stand out from all the other speakers. And I love what Gravastar is doing. I love the designs that they have. It's kind of like a futuristic cyberpunk type style. I love the detail. If you look at everything that they put into their speakers and their earbuds, they really spend a lot of time on the design aspect. But from a value standpoint, you can do better on the sound in this price range. Now, another thing I do want to talk about, is kind of like a little bonus add-on to this video, is their Alpha 65. And this is a 65 watt charger that's freaking adorable. It looks like a little robot. In fact, it even has legs that come out so that you can just pull them out and put it on your desk. And it has ears that you can add to it. So it kind of looks like you have this little droid just on your desk. And again, if you have these speakers and you have this little, charger sitting at your desk, it's just kind of a cool look to have. And again, it's just products that stand out. But the charger itself does have 65 watts of output power. It has a USB-A output that's putting out at 10 watts. And then it has two USB-C plugins, which is putting out at 20 watts and the other one is putting out at 65. Now, when you plug it into an outlet, it even has two little lights that light up that makes the little robot looks like it has eyes. And again, this is attention to detail that I really like and can appreciate. And it's just a cool little device to have. But guys, that wraps up my video on the Gravastar Supernova and then their little Alpha 65 watt charger. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.